Welcome back to another chapter in the Beard Zero saga. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So, today, as you can see, kind of just hanging out in the shop, catching up on some baits that I needed to make, filling a few orders, doing a bit of injection molding today. However, I won't be showing a whole bunch of injection molding on my channel. There are several other YouTubers out there that do very, very brilliant work that I don't exactly want to compete with that. I kind of want to do other things and show the more artistic side of the baits that I make. So I'll show a lot of the deadfall shad and other creations that I come up with along the way. But as far as injection molding, not going to show a whole bunch of it because there's a bunch of great guys out there like World's Worst Fishing. He is just incredibly talented and just his showmanship is second to none. Check him out. Or another guy, Marling Baits, he does a lot more artistic lures and he does like crankbaits and stuff too as well, he's just incredible as well. So not going to really compete with them. They're really good at it, so go see them if you want to see injection molding, but if you want to see the more artistic baits that I make, then you're in the right place. And also while I'm out here today, I'm going to be hanging up a picture that was given to me by Tracy. She did this as a wedding gift for when I got married. This is incredibly beautiful work. I know the camera doesn't do it all that much justice, but it is so brilliant that it is going up in my shop so I can see it all the time. I want to give a special thank you to her. This was outstanding. I am so appreciative of it, and it's going in my shop. I love it. Thank you. Now, without further ado, I am going to show you some footage from when I was fishing for white bass along the Lampasas River here about a week ago. So when I was out there, I finally was able to find the stronghold of where they were hanging out and have some successful fishing. But the day of filming didn't go exactly how I had planned to. I had a whole entire plan laid out for the day that I was going to get to a certain location, film my intro, film the outro, film my fishing, so on and so forth. But when I got there, the fishing was just too good and I couldn't stop fishing. So anyways, here's that footage. I thought I hooked into a white bass, but what I got is a gar pike. He's foul hooked though, so either way I'm gonna be letting him go, but I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get him out of here because I don't exactly want to handle him. These things are nasty. They're like snakes. I don't exactly want to handle this thing, but first one I've ever actually caught on a rod. Okay, so I just found a little spot where a bunch of white bass are hanging out feeding. I just caught one, I missed another one, so I figured I'd go ahead and set the camera up. Wasn't really going to do it in the kayak. It's too much because I'm still new to it and I don't want to get my gear wet, so I'm being extremely cautious right now while I'm doing this. But I figured since I just missed another bite, I might as well get my camera set up. There was about 5 or 6 of them that were in here feeding a minute ago. I caught one of them. And just a few minutes ago, I just caught that gar pike. Well, it got foul hooked, but I think he was trying to hit it. I really do, because he hit and it pulled hard. And I think maybe when he swirled, it came out of his mouth and then caught him in the side somehow, is what I kind of think happened. But I could be wrong. But either way, hopefully I can catch another white bass here shortly. They are certainly in here running right now. And I am just a few miles down from where I normally fish this river. When I did I Am Zero, that video where I was fishing the Lampasas, I was fishing about 5 miles upstream from here. But I don't think that these white bass travel that far upstream. They may, but I don't think that they do. And that was exciting for a minute. I wish I would have had the camera going to see that school. It was about 5 or 6 of them that were together that were chasing minnows on the surface. And as soon as I cast near one of them, he went right after it. Move a little bit closer to shore. They've been jumping all morning, feeding on the surface. But I am en route to a place that I saw on the map that I think is going to be really, really promising. So I'm not spending a whole bunch of time fishing on my way out. A little bit, and I'm glad I did because I've definitely had fish to show for it. But, oh, there was a hit right there. He just bumped it. That's the thing about the feeding frenzies is they happen fairly fast. Gotta always be on your toes. Always looking. Always ready. Always ready for a quick hook set the second anything stops your lure. Because out here, unlike in Stillhouse Lake when I'm fishing finesse type on the bottom, there's a lot of snags out there that I get snagged up on a lot. So there's a happy medium between fishing bottom out there and getting snagged up that you gotta contend with. I'm not gonna spend too much time fishing here unless I get one here in just a minute. Keep moving and get to the spot I was trying to go to, because I think they're going to be holed up over there. That's what I think. There goes one. He's fighting pretty good too. That's number 3 of the day, and he inhaled this thing. He ate it deep down. And is a nice little surprise, color of the day, none other, Flounder Hunt. Shout out to Trapper Kent for the inspiration for that, from my flounder fishing excursions with him back in the day. That was some incredible fishing. Thank you so much for taking me. Crap, there's more feeding on the surface. I gotta get back in it. There are more feeding right behind me. Alright, hurry up, fix my jig. I gotta get back in it. Gotta get back in it. Get myself turned around here. Get myself turned around. Where they're over there feeding right now. See if I can't pull another one out of here before I continue on. There goes another one. Ah, what a nice little surprise. Not a white bass. This is a regular bass. And he's going back in. But so far, that makes 5 fish for today. Flounder Hunt blends in perfectly with the native species minnows here. And it's just destroying these white bass. And other bass for that matter too. But when they hit it, they hit it. There is no mistaking it. So when fishing for white bass, especially fishing a moving bait, the second anything stops your line, give it a hook set, because it's probably a fish. Now if you're fishing bottom lures, okay, that might be a little bit different. You might be caught up in snags, so on and so forth. But when you're fishing with a moving bait like this, just about any time anything stops it, give it a quick hook set, just for good measure. And there goes one feeding by the shore. Yeah, they're all over the place in here right now. They are all over the place. And the action is pretty fire thus far. I haven't been fishing more than 30 minutes or so. And I already got 5 fish. Oh, there was one came up over there too. It clobbered something. And surprisingly enough, these are the first fish that I have caught out of my kayak. that I just got recently. I haven't used it very often. I've only used it twice since I got it, just to test it out to see how I felt in it before I decided that I was going to air it on the channel. There's still a lot of activity on the surface here in this area. That's why I'm still kind of hanging out here and haven't continued on up the shore, or up the river. There goes one. He's running right at me. There we go. Another white. And pop this little hook out real quick. Well, I think that makes it worth a few more casts in this area before I push on, eh? I always get ready to move on and then I end up catching a fish and I end up staying for a few more casts. But a lot of times it works out and I end up catching more fish off of it subsequently, so hey, what can you do? Got a boat getting ready to come up and pass me in just a minute. And there's some more kayaks further behind me following me now. First weight. A little tighter there. There goes one. This might be another largie. Yeah, it certainly is. Largie. Wait. That's fish number 7. Yeah, the fish are definitely active in here. And I had to change colors because I was starting to run low on the flounder hunt. So now I have on rose gold. And it works too. Okay, so I just missed a crappie. Well, I had it, got it up near the boat, and it fell off. Of course, somebody's calling me while I'm fishing. Leave me alone, people. Got one. I think it's a bass. Yeah, regular bass. Then he inhaled this thing. He hit it twice. I felt him hit it the first time. I thought it was just a log or something that I bumped off of. He hit it again. That's fish number 8 for the day. Something followed it up that time too. I don't know what it was. It was something very, very small. But either way, I have to keep moving. I get too wrapped up in fishing and losing focus on the main plan here to get up to another spot where it should be better fishing. There we go. There's a good fish.
Maybe let me one thing. Oh. It's not what I thought it was. What ho? Another drum. On a jig. That's funny. I usually don't catch drum on jigs. I've only ever done it once or twice before, and that was funny. So man, I'm catching all kinds of stuff today. Caught white bass, largemouth bass, had a crappie on, hooked into that gar pike. It's been a wild day, but interesting. Let me go ahead and pick one up, see. I was definitely not expecting a drum. Moving up. If I would ever get to the spot I was trying to get to today, I'll probably have to come back a different day. Because I'm just taking way too much time to fish everywhere. I need a faster reel, is what I need. Sometimes the problem I have with my reels is that they're just not fast enough. And I can't pick up enough line fast enough to be able to catch some of the fish. That was especially my problem when I was trout fishing. I just did not have a reel that was fast enough to get the job done.
So as you can see from that footage, my fishing was excellent for the day. But filming, that's another story. My plan, it just never came around the way that I wanted to. I kept getting too distracted by the fish that were jumping all around me, and I just kept fishing. So when my camera died, I kept on fishing, but by the time that I got to the location that I had set up, or planned to set up to be able to film at with my main camera, the bite was over. There was no more fish jumping. They would not hit anything anymore. So I went and packed up, turned around, and headed back. But on my way back, I came across slab bluegills that are very rare for me to find in Stillhouse. I don't usually find them there, but in the river I do find some slab bluegills from time to time. And those are an incredible eating fish. They're one of my favorite fish to eat. Although most of the ones I catch are just too small for me to keep, and they just go right back, where I caught them. But whenever I do come across some that are, bigger than my hand, I like to keep those and bring those home for my family so we can have a nice fish fry. And my family loves when I do that. But anyways, right now that I'm done in the shop for the day, I was working on a new color inspired by Tracy. Once again, she's on fire today, coming up with all kinds of stuff and giving me brilliant things to put on the channel. But she had an idea for a color called Pondness Monster. And I've been working on that, and that will be coming out on an upcoming episode, along with more videos from the kayak. And I promise I'm going to try different ways of filming from the kayak to be able to bring you better footage. But until then, the lake's calling me, and I have to answer. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you at the lake.